Hey guys, I'm back here with our next pitch. This is for if they made a sequel to the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Now, I will say this. I had some problems with the remake, obviously. As you do, you know. Um, it's not terrible. It's not the worst remake I've seen um, in terms of remaking horror movies. Uh, it's not the best either. There's definitely problems. Um, there were some interesting ideas I liked, but I don't think that they explored them well enough. I just think I think I said in my ranking video too. The whole did he molest him, did not molest him thing, where they tease him, maybe you didn't do it, like it just felt like it kind of like no, he totally did do it, and it's just like I don't know, just like make a choice. Plus, I don't know the whole child molester thing. It just I get you're going for a darker thing, and I know that was kind of the original intention, but I don't know. It's a weird kind of it's a weird thing because he's still supposed to be a child murderer. You're still supposed not to like the guy, but when it comes to these slasher villains, you end up liking them even if they're terrible people. It's just kind of what it is. But yeah, so I don't know. That bothered me. But so anyway, we could just get away from that a little bit, and not really mention that at all in this sequel. He's just a killer from the dreams. Okay, so obviously at the end of the last one, basically you had Nancy Holbrook. That's Nancy Thompson. Come on. What's this remake name changing bullshit? If you're going to call her Nancy, just leave her with the same freaking last name. And then we have Quentin Smith was the boyfriend's name, played by the Kyle Garner, who I do like. I think he's a good actor. Completely wasted in the new Scream movie. Completely wasted. I really liked him there's a movie called Haunted in Connecticut, which is actually a really good movie. Very underrated movie. I actually cared about all the characters. Virginia Madsen's in it as the mom, and she's really good. Definitely check that movie out if you get a chance. It's actually really good. I'm not usually too much into the haunted kind of thing, but it's well done. And it's based off a true story, too, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so he's in it. He survives, which is, I'll give him freshness for that because, Johnny Depp got eaten by a freaking bed. So, so good on him for surviving. But I think the main issues were, as I mentioned with the molester thing, but, it really wasn't, I don't think we even have to replace the guy who played Freddy Krueger here. I think he's fine. I didn't really like the makeup. The thing didn't have a nose and all that. I understand they were going for real burn victims, but I don't know. It just kind of, you don't have to go that far. He needs to still have a nose. So I think Jackie Earle Haley, we keep him in there. He's fine. I would say, though, if we're going to do a sequel here, Rooney Mara has gone on record in saying that she was not a fan of the series. And, much like Jamie Lee Curtis, which isn't necessarily a bad thing necessarily, because Jamie Lee Curtis was never a big fan of horror movies, and look how many goddamn horror movies she made in the 80s. And then came back for the Halloween stuff. So it's that's fine. I don't think you have to be a die-hard fan that's I am such a big fan of you can be or you can't be, whatever. But, she really did not want to do this movie. She did it and was regretful, and her performance shows through. Because, honestly, if I had only seen her in this movie, I would not think she knows how to fucking act. But then I saw her in what was that movie? Goddamn, with Daniel Craig. Oh, my God. Why is it escaping my head? Fuck. It's not Spider. It's something with... what's this going to drive me? Okay, well, we're just going to have to look it up here. Damn it. Hold on. When in doubt, the phone is your friend. I was just on here for looking at the... So we'll just look at her little... Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Excellent in that movie. And I've seen her in other things that she was really good in. But she clearly was not giving a shit about this movie or this character. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's why couldn't you care? So I would say that if they were going to do a sequel, unless they absolutely had her contractually obligated to return, I think we do a recast. And I think, if you were to go back the way where it worked, make Katie Cassidy the main character instead. But we're going to do a recast. And also, At the end of the movie, we had kind of the cheesy jump thing of him jumping through the mirror and killing the mom. Okay, so Connie Britton's out of there. Okay, that's fine. Let me also say, I know it was a remake and they're not trying to go with totally the same characters, and that's totally fine. I'm not asking people to do a shot-for-shot remake because we saw Psycho's shot-for-shot remake. It was terrible. But, sorry, clearing my throat a little bit there. But we still need to have some kind of connection because not having Donald Thompson be in the frickin' movie, John Saxon's character, having her not have a dad, it really, that just bugged me. You had Clancy Brown right there playing somebody else's father. Why couldn't he have been that? Clancy Brown would have been great in that role. So we can't change the name from Holbrook to Thompson. That's fine. We're going to have to stick with Nancy Holbrook. That's fine. Quentin Smith, that's fine. Clancy Brown, that character didn't die, so he could technically still be involved. Maybe there's a connection there. It's been a while since I watched the movie. I don't remember whose father he was. I think he was a cop, though. Was he a cop in the movie? I'm trying to remember. Let's see if I can look that up, too. I am so well prepared for this. I am on top of my game. Let's see. Clancy Brown. Let's see if I can just look this up real quick. I'll just ask about it. We'll just ask Google. I think he was a cop, though, because if he's a cop, that really works out well. Who did Clancy Brown play? I really enjoyed his run on the Dexter New Blood as well. As the killer he was. He was interesting. He was very entertaining. He's just a good actor. I always liked him. Nightmare on Elm Street. He has a very booming voice, too, which is really cool. Alan Smith. Who was Alan Smith? Alan Smith. Okay, that's doesn't really tell me shit. It just tells me his name was Alan Smith. Can we tell me what the hell he was? Let's see what it says. Join the chemist at Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry for the delay, guys. I rambled a little bit last one. I'm pretty sure he was the cop. Man, this is going to bug me. Alright, let me go to YouTube. Let me pause this real quick, guys. I'm going to pause this, and then we'll be back. Hey, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. As far as I can see, I tried looking on YouTube, and there was only a couple scenes. The only I found was one scene where the funeral, and it wasn't playing very loud, and then one scene where they burn him and stuff. And he's leading the charge, like, come on, Kruger! Yeah. So the best I can see is he's just one of the other parents. So I can't remember. I feel like he was a cop, though. I don't know. I feel like he was filling that kind of void role. That maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'll try to watch the movie again. Huh? And I really said before, it's really not terrible. I think that it was a good attempt at a remake. I just think that it didn't stick to the landing. And like I said, for me, it's like if the lead actress had been more invested, I think that could have helped too. But it is what it is. So anyway, back to the pitch now, guys. So if Clancy Brown was available, I would definitely bring him back. I would make him a much more vital character because he would have that connection with the mom being dead too. There's no one, and we don't have a father character here playing the John Saxon role. I think you get Clancy Brown because he's a good working actor. He's a great character actor. He's constantly working, but you get him in there. He was in Billions too. I saw him in Billions recently too. So it's like he's all over the place. He does voiceover. He does that. He's just a well-versed actor. And honestly, the most entertaining part of Pet Sematary 2 by far was definitely Clancy Brown. He's awesome. So yeah, I would definitely get him back. Make his character more connected to this. Maybe even have some regret of like, I can't believe how this caused. I also would do one thing where, because I feel like the one thing neither the original or the other ones did until a little bit later in the sequels and a little bit in Freddy's Dead is really how does he get connected to the dream world? Because he's just burned alive and then suddenly he's in people's dreams. It's just kind of like there's no, not that you need a big, huge, long thing with that, but like maybe tie into that a little more. Like maybe show some flashbacks of how he connected. And it doesn't have to be the little demon sperm things from Freddy's Dead, but like somehow connecting to that dream world so that he doesn't really die. He just ends up in the dream world. So yeah, I would have Clancy Brown, and I would recast an actress around the same age, another brunette. Who was around that time? Who was big in 2000? Was that 2010 that it came out? Let me look this up. Maybe we can get it, because I said, and I would still want it to be made decent budget and all that. I wouldn't make it like just some crappy straight to DVD thing or something like that. So I'd still want to get somebody decent. So how old was Rooney Mara at that time? Let's see. How old is she now, actually? But she's 37 now. So she was probably in her 20s. So, damn, who else was around at that time? Recasting stuff sucks, man. I would get Kyle Garner back, though. He's good. Let's see. It's 2010. So, yeah, 2010. Who? Let's see. Brunette. Actresses in their 20s. But not in this year. Well, that's them now, but not now. Ah, damn it. Hold on. I'm just making you wait in this pitch. You're just going to wait. Watch Adam look a shit up on the phone. I will have this all squared away very quickly. Don't worry about it. Hang time. I'm just going to see if there's other actresses in the 2010s who were brunette. Or at least most likely brunette. It was today I had to say Jenny Ortega. But Jenna Ortega. Not Jenny Ortega, but Jenna Ortega. In their 20s. She's in 2010. Or that range area, not 2010. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, come on. I'm trying to go with the year 2010. Best artist of 2010. Hold that thought. Let's see what we got here. I'll pause this again while I figure this out real quick, so you're not just... All right, guys, I'm back. Finally, I had to search through things, and then... So, we're going to go a little bit of a callback. Catherine Isabel didn't have a very big role in Freddy vs. Jason, but she was the one that had the boyfriend that get killed at the beginning. We're going to make her a new Nancy. She's usually a redhead, but, she can be brunette. And I figure she's probably about, at this point, we can jump ahead a little bit. Nancy's maybe college age. But still dealing with, like, the Freddy stuff. And maybe there's been a connection with Clancy Brown. I know his character was kind of an a-hole in the movie, I think. So I don't know if they were really close. But maybe he's at least trying to make a connection. He's trying to figure out how the hell, Freddy's back. Maybe they meet at the funeral because her mom is dead and all that. That can be maybe one of the beginning scenes. But yeah, I would get Catherine Isabel. She's good. She's not overly pricey as far as like a lead role. It was either that or Daniel Harris, but I think Daniel Harris was a little too old for the role. Even Catherine Isabel might be too old for the role at this time, but it's fine. We'll say it's like 2012, 2013, something like that. So we can jump ahead a little bit. Why not? Like I said, we'll still get Kyle Gardner back. And like I said, I really kind of said it like college, because it's one of those things with Freddy. I don't think they really. Most of them was high school. He was always going after teenagers in most of those movies that I can remember. So why not? Let's go into college age, Nancy. And what I would do is I would actually have one of her professors played by Heather Langenkamp. Why the fuck not? Let's do this. Let's get some fan base back in there. And you know what? Give Robert Englund a cameo role too. Why not? Make him like the dean or something. Just something. Doesn't have to be a big role, but just kind of a callback. Jack Earl Haley's back with better makeup. And we kind of go, like I said, let's dive into the dream world a little bit. Let's get how he got into the dream world. So we don't need a big, huge backstory thing. We don't want to, but you have to expand a little bit because we need to connect to that dream world. And I would make like her professor, Heather Langenkamp a professor, but maybe some kind of connection, maybe something to explain dreams, explain nightmares and stuff like that. Like, sort of playing a little bit of a callback, to the new Nancy. Because why not? That's something they do in movies a lot. I say why not. Heather Langenkamp's character can be an important face out there. And like I said, Robert Englund can just be kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, look, it's Freddy. But yeah, I would start having Freddy start targeting some college people too, like maybe some kids that he didn't get to kill. Some of the kids he didn't get to kill in those nightmares. Some of them got away, or maybe their relatives, or whatever the case. But yeah, I would definitely play a lot in the dream world. Continue to play with, the one thing I did like about the remake was how they were playing with like people who were like having these little short, that kind of thing, like where you're dozing and you fall asleep for a minute and then you wake yourself back up. That was one aspect I definitely liked. I thought that was cool how she kept going from the dream world. That was one cool scene I definitely really enjoyed about that. Was that they was going from the dream world, because that's something anybody can relate to. You're just sitting here, like I do that all the time. Maybe a Saturday, I'll just be like, fall asleep. You're just dozing off, and then you pop yourself back up. So that's what I would do. Like I said, we'll get Catherine Isabel to play the role. She's good, a good capable actress. She'd probably be enthused about it too. She's done other horror with Ginger Snaps and stuff like that, and she was in Freddy vs. Jason. So why not? A little callback there. We get Heather Langenkamp back in there, like I said, because that's the thing I love. A lot of people like the movie that were like more new fans who hadn't seen the other Nightmare stuff. So yeah, I'm not saying you have to repeat things, because yeah, if you're doing stuff, you should add some elements to it, because you don't want to just do a shot-for-shot remake, but you still should also, do the Cobra Kai thing, homage, even if you're not having those, even if Robert Englund and Heather Langenkamp aren't playing Nancy and Freddy here, you can still go with an homage of sorts. By having them pop up in the film. Why not? I'm sure, Freddy, I'm sure Robert Englund would be up for it. Why not? He doesn't have to put the makeup on. So, it's all you, Jack Earl. I'll just be here for a cameo role. And maybe even gets killed by him. He's kind of an adult, so Freddy doesn't really go after adults. But hey, why not? He went after adults in fucking part 2. Why not? Sorry for the cursing, but he killed a random S&M gym teacher. Why not? So let's change the rules. I did in the second one. We're going to change the rules too. Maybe even faces off with Clancy Brown. Maybe he comes out in the world and they, Clancy Brown maybe makes some kind of heroic sacrifice or something, gets killed. But yeah, it comes down to it. Heather Langenkamp will kind of help Catherine Isabel or Nancy and Quentin and all that. I would still keep Quentin around. It'd be tempted to get him killed, but I'd have some other characters that Freddy can kill instead. Right, maybe he's trying to come out back in that real world and all that. It's a little bit of a callback to, Nightmare 2 without being a total rip-off and all that. But, some callbacks with that a little bit, because that was a strange and fun film to watch. We watched it again recently on Shudder, just for the hell of it. So that's what I would do with it. I would just, like I said with Freddy vs. Jason, have some fun with it, but also get your kind of original fans back. You get Heather Langenkamp in a somewhat decent role. Not the main role, but somewhat decent. So sort of a passing of the torch here. Here's the new Nancy. Here's the old Nancy. It's been done before. And then you have a capable actress who actually likes horror and wants to be involved. And you have Kyle Garner, who's a pretty good working character actor and has done plenty of horror as well. And you get Robert Englund back for a little cameo role, and Jackie O'Haley with a better script, and get some good writers that really want to make this scary. He doesn't have to quip. I am okay with Freddy not quipping. That was a Robert Englund thing they did later. That's okay with making him scary. I'm not saying he can't have any quips. He certainly can, but I'm okay with it not being funny Freddy, because this is one was trying to make him more dark like he was originally. So I'm okay with that. If you want to have a quip here and there, that's totally fine. But that's not really Jackie O'Haley's style either. So, so that's what I would do with it. Could you make a third one out of that? You probably could. Although I'd probably be tempted with a third one to just be like, hey, Dream Warriors are here. Because that's just an awesome movie. So anyway, that would be my pitch for a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Let's Go to College. That's not going to be the title, but yeah. So like I said, recast Catherine Isabel in the role. You can always choose your own recast if you want. Lay your recast down who is a working actress that you think would do horror and probably be up for it. That was my choice. I went with Catherine Isabel. And she might be even a little too old for the role. I don't know. Whatever. But that's why I said we're jumping to college, so she's old enough. She looks young enough. It's cool. And it's a callback to Freddy vs. Jason, so there you go. We tied it all together. All right, so cool, guys. This will be the last official pitch of the Nightmare pitches, but I am, like I said, I'm going to have my own little pitch of. I actually have 2 potential pitches that I will say in the next video about this. This one's longer than the other one, so look at that. I just have to stop and look up things. I don't have to look up things for the next one, so I'm good for this next one. So we'll have one final pitch of just my personal, what I would do with the Nightmare franchise. Cool. So I hope you enjoyed this pitch, guys, and hey, let's have fun and have a good day.